Hatfield. We are at Johnston Stadium right now. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. We got everything kind of fixed. We're up and running tonight. Just kind of an update. We have a player down that looks like Gus Ghanaian, running back for Johnston. So right now there's no play on the field, but just kind of give you a quick synopsis where we are in the game. There's 7 minutes and 12 seconds in the second quarter. Currently Johnston is leading 16-0 against Urbandale and awaiting an extra point here after the injured player gets kind of taken care of. So we do have a little bit of breaks to kind of catch everybody up. The scoring kind of recap. Grant Gosling had a long touchdown run in the first quarter. Brady Jansen kicked a 39-yard field goal a couple minutes later after an Urbandale turnover. And then currently T-Boy White had a run in from the 1-yard line, punched it in, and put the Urbandale Dragons up to 16-0 currently. So just kind of a quick synopsis of where we are. Gus Ghanaian is up and jogging off the field, so that's a good sign for him and also for the Dragons. He's got a little hitch in the giddy up, but I think he'll be able to get back into the game here in this second quarter. Terry, what you got here to kind of help our viewers out at home?
Well, right now we got the extra point here, and we can talk to you right after the extra point.
All right, so we have Brady Jansen, big kicker for Johnson, made that 52-yard field goal winner against Ankeny last week, and he's going to put his boot onto that ball and kick that easily through the uprights. So Johnson is up 17-0. Again, there's 7 minutes and 12 seconds in the second quarter. It's been all Dragons here so far in the first half. So Terry, quick little summary maybe of what Urbandale has done offensively. If you can, just give them a little bit of kind of a quick summary.
Yeah, so offensively, Urbandale is going to try to run the ball. They have two outstanding offensive linemen. Playing right guard for the Urbandale Jayhawks is Jake Heinrich. He's playing right guard, and he'll move around a little bit. So Coach Anderson, he has a little imagination with the offensive line, and you don't see that much. And he'll move around. Go next to his partner over there at left tackle. His name is Caleb Bright, and they're a real force for Johnston. The Johnston defensive linemen are going to have to hold up to those big guys.
Currently, right now, though, we have Brady Jansen kicking off for Johnston Dragons. Javon Burnside, number 5, is back deep. Looks like he's going to catch this close to the end zone, keeps his feet inside. He's got a good running start, quick back, and he finds some open field. And right now it's him and a few other Johnston Dragons, and he's going to get it just past the 50-yard line. It looks like about the 49-yard line. We're right at the 50 on the return. Heck of a turn by Burnside, who's just a freshman for Urbandale. So good starting field position, a nice return there for Burnside and the Jayhawks from Urbandale.
Yeah, so Urbandale's got the ball midfield. They had been moving the ball in their second and third possessions. They were moving their ball, but some mistakes. They had a turnover on a pitch on their second possession. Their third possession, they did drive it down to Johnston's side of the field, but a sack by Eric Siedenberg pushed them back into unmanageable field position. They had to punt. So that's kind of where we're at here. You get a feeling this is an old-time football game here with the double wing coming out of Urbandale. You got the veer coming out of Johnston, and lots of running the ball tonight.
We have George Rice. George Rice is the quarterback. He's going to hand it off into the line there for Urbandale. Look, probably Newberg on the carry. He's number 25. He's kind of been the workhorse for Urbandale this year. Big, strong back for Urbandale.
Yeah, you expect a lot of this out of Urbandale right now. Just get behind these offensive linemen. That's the strength of their football team right now, and trying to wear out the Johnston defensive line.
So again, we have 14 Gardner. Devon Gardner, he gets the pitch there. Several Dragons wrap him up. That was initially kind of wrapped up by Eric Seedberg on that. A nice play for the senior linebacker for the Dragons. It's going to be about 3rd and 5 from the 45 for Urbandale. The clock's ticking down, 6 minutes and 13 seconds here in the first half, and Urbandale's got to be looking to get some points on the board to kind of go into halftime with a little bit of momentum. We have Rice again. He's going to be their starting quarterback. He's a junior.
In the backfield, we have Alex Newberg. He'll be number 25 for you. He's a senior, 6'2", 220 pounds. So Rice is going to take the handoff. He looks to throw. We have Lang on the outside. He'll be the big target for the Jayhawks out there. He's, again, 6'2", junior receiver. He's kind of been the go-to receiver for Urbandale so far in this young season. So this is going to bring up a 4th down, Terry.
Now, nice coverage there by Jaron Proctor. I'm sure Johnston will be in punt safe. Doesn't look like they brought the punter out. Oh, yep, I see the punter out there. He's got the fluorescent shoes out.
Yeah, that's usually a sign of a guy that might be looking to punt the ball. Sometimes they have those shoes. This way they don't lose them when they're on the bench. We have Proctor back to receive the punt. A short punt. Looks like it's angled out of bounds, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a ton of yardage on that punt. The official has continued to walk up, and it looks like that punt is going to get taken over right around the 32-yard line. It's not going to be much of a punt. Looks like about less than 20 yards on that, Terry.
Yeah, that was about a 10-yard punt there from St. John out of Urbandale. So Johnston's got the ball in really good field position, 5 minutes and 40 seconds, and the offense is definitely different for Johnston this year. They're still getting a feel for the offense, just running the split veer. They're not running the plays quite as fast, letting the play clock go down to under 10 seconds, unlike before where they tried to get the play off in the first 5 seconds of the whistle. So a little different for Johnston. They're feeling their way.
We're led by senior quarterback Jared Bacon. He's going to hand off to T-Boy White up the middle, and he's going to get about 7 yards on that initial carry. So we're at a little under 6 minutes. We're cracking the 5:30 mark right now. Clock is continuing to move. Nice gain there in first down by T-Boy White.
Yeah, Coach Woodley, he's not going to be in any hurry to get any plays off here. Offensive line's been doing a phenomenal job for Johnston here tonight. Really, Johnston's key is going to be is getting positive yards on each down. No negative plays.
Yeah, Johnston's really been enforcing the battle up in the trenches early in this game, especially on the offensive end. We were looking at the sides up front, and Johnston is just a lot bigger on the offensive line than the Urbandale defensive line, and they've kind of been able to push them around and really run the ball, and then include some of that deception that they have with the split veer and the two backs of Grant Gosling and T-Boy White.
Urbandale's tried some different combinations on the defensive line. They brought in a few new guys in the interior. Number 74 for Urbandale is in here now. He is Derek Mowry. He's in there. And then also we've got John Heinrich, number 4. He's playing a little defensive line in the interior
so
too.
We got the split veer. Bacon's going to turn, hand off to T-Boy White. He's going to try to find some room up there. The Jayhawks do a good job kind of congesting T-Boy White up for next to nothing on that carry. So a nice job there by the Urbandale defensive line, really holding T-Boy White to next to nothing on that first down carry.
I see Ghanaian come back into the game, so that's a good sign. He was down on that.
He was the player that was down when we kind of got started here. He's a junior running back as well. So again, we have Bacon with the split veer, and he's going to look to drop back and pass. He's thrown to the sidelines, got Newcomb open, and just overthrew Jacob Newcomb. So that's kind of one of the things that's different about Johnston this year than Johnston last year. The team from last year was going to look to pass first and run second. This year's team is going to run first and pass second. So just with the personnel, they have some really good skill positions in the backfield, and a quarterback that's probably a better runner than is a passer, so they're kind of meeting the needs of the players and the personnel that they have with them. So this is not the situation that they probably want to be in here, 3rd and 9. They want to be kind of short those chains up, looking for 3rd and 4. So this is big 3rd down, kind of in the end of this first half. Bacon's under center. We got trips to the left. It looks like there's a timeout by Coach Woodley there. He didn't like something that he saw. They had a timeout left, so that's the first timeout that Coach Woodley's going to call here in the first half. So he's going to talk it over with his guys, see what they can come up with 3rd and 9.
Yeah, that last play call was interesting out of Johnston. Johnston being up 17-0 with the clock running. It was 2nd down and long. It was a good play call. Newcomb released. He was open. The ball just needed a little bit more air underneath it. This kind of offense, though, with the veer, you're really looking to just kind of get 3-4 yards each time and put yourself in a position on third down to be able to run the ball and get the first down. So be interesting to see what happens here. We're leaving a lot of time on the clock if the first down isn't made by Johnston.
Yeah, I think Coach Woodley will want to keep that clock going. Urbandale still has 3 timeouts as well, so 3 minutes, well, actually 4 minutes pretty much on the clock. This will be quite a bit of time with those timeouts left. Johnston does have a big-footed kicker, Brady Jansen, again, as we mentioned last week, hit a 52-yard game winner against Ankeny. I watched the video of the replay, and that kick probably, for me, looked like it was going to be good from 56, 57 yards for sure. But again, we have trips to the left. Bacon's going to look to swing the ball to T-Boy White just a little over his head. It's going to be an incomplete pass, and the Dragons are going to be forced to punt here on 4th down. So Mitch Benson has been the punter for the Dragons so far this year. He's a senior punter, and the Dragons haven't had a lot of, I think this might be the first punt that they've had tonight, Terry.
This is going to be the first punt out of Johnston tonight, and we've got a long snapper out there, a young guy, sophomore long snapper, but he zips that ball back really quick. And Ross Hinders. Yeah,
Ross Hinders is a really good long snapper. Benson's going to get the kickoff. It's going to be off to a little bit to the side. It's going to be not returnable. Lang was back deep for Urbandale. Dragons just let that ball kind of die there. They're going to get the ball. Urbandale's going to get the ball right at the 11-yard line. So a long ways for Urbandale to go. Coach Anderson's really going to want to get some momentum going into this first half. Maybe they'll look to open this up, maybe throw the ball a little bit because they've really been unable to move the ball on the ground. The Johnston linebackers combined by Eric Seenberg, who's had some big tackles, a couple sacks. Jackson Clausen have done a great job of kind of containing the run game for Urbandale. But Urbandale does have some big pieces up front. We have Heinrich and Bright, 2 big offensive linemen for them. Rice is going to be the quarterback. He's going to keep it. He is going to gain 4 yards on the carry. Nice little keeper there for George Rice.
Yeah, the offensive line there just blew the defensive line for Johnston off the ball. That's a 6-yard gain, and they really have been getting those chunks of yardage, but then they have a negative play that's sprinkled in there, and that's just been killing some drives. I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of a counter to the young guy, number 5, the speedster, who just took that kickoff back to midfield.
So Rice again is going to keep that. He's going to pitch it. It's a mishandled on the pitch by Burnside. And you talked about that, Terry, just a second ago about how Urbandale will get 4 yards and then I'll have a negative play. Well, there's a pitch that is going to result in some negative yardage and really pin the Jayhawks back.
Yeah, so at this point as an offensive play caller, what do? You're deep in your zone. You got fullback up the middle. You can throw a screen possibly, but you're really probably going to want to play it fairly safe here. And you probably want to run the ball. There's 3 minutes left. You want to get some time off the clock.
They may just look to get into the half and try to get out of there at just 17-0, and understanding that this hasn't been their best half of football yet. They're going to run the pitch to the outside. Looks like that was number 7, G. Nayu, and he had a nice run there, but it's still going to be short of the first down. And Urbandale is going to probably have to look to punt here because they're going to be 4 yards short of the first down.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to be punting. That was a collision right there.
That was a big hit by Now there.
And as expected, Johnston's going to take a timeout here. They're going to look to try to get some more points on the board. They should get some pretty good field position.
Yeah, they're going to get the ball just on probably the other side of the 50 or just short of the 50. And this is where the kicker is going to come up big and see if Johnston can get a few more points and sneak those into the scoreboard before they enter the first half. Just kind of a summary of kind of where we are in the season, just for some of you viewers at home that haven't had a chance to really watch Johnston or Urbandale. Urbandale comes into the game as the number 9th ranked team in 4A. First week they beat Hoover 68-7, and then lost a heartbreaker to Dowling last week 21-20. Johnston's coming into this game 2-0. They're ranked number 9 in 4A and had a couple close victories against Southeast Polk on the road, and then again on the road last weekend at Ankeny. So Johnston sitting at 2-0. This has been the longest they've led all year, Terry. They've only had 34 seconds where they've been in the lead, and they've been in the lead for the most part the entire game before it was just 0-0. So the Dragons are in a good position here. Flag on that play. Punt is up. Proctor is back deep. He catches that, and he's going to make a few defenders miss before he gets taken down by Newberg. Was the first guy. As I mentioned, it looked like there was a flag on that play from the corner.
Yeah, I would imagine that that's going to be a procedure penalty. I think Urbandale had one too many guys in the backfield. So Johnston's going to just probably look to decline the penalty since they're on the other side of the 50 here and get the offense on the field.
See Coach Cruz, the offense coordinator for the Dragons, over there gathering the troops up before they take over. The ball's going to be right at the 46-yard line. 2:31 here in the second quarter. The Dragons are up 17-0. It's been all Dragons so far in the first half.
This is going to be interesting because in the past, 2:31, that's an eternity for the old spread offense that Johnston was in. This offense is a little different. But I do see that we have 3 wide receivers to the wide side, so this is definitely a passing formation.
To the right, we have Grant Gosling. He's going to stand and help protect Bacon. Bacon's going to throw the outside edge. I didn't quite see who caught that ball.
Svetska, number 3.
Olgana Svetska, speedster, junior receiver. He's going to pick up right around 10 yards on that reception.
Yeah, that was a good call. Getting Bacon on the run, that's kind of his, his strength is going to be his feet, and being able to throw that outside pass. I think he got out of bounds, so that stops the clock, saving the timeout, and pretty close to Jansen's field goal range right now.
You got to be, 52 yards. He's got to be right there. So we have Bacon under center, Gosling and T-Boy in the back. No real protection there. Number 11 for Urbandale, Trevor Kim, came pretty much untouched to Bacon, really forcing him to throw the ball before he wanted to, and put a pretty good lick on Bacon. He's coming up limping a little bit. He's going to stay down, and he's really struggling. He's grabbing his right knee, and he's going to need some attention from the training staff. So Kim, as I mentioned, came in on a blitz, put a pretty good hit on Bacon. Bacon did get the ball away towards T-Boy White. It was incomplete. However, he went down on that hit from Kim and is still down.
Yeah, as a quarterback, you're just real vulnerable when he's backing up, and then he goes to throw, his arms up in the air, his ribs are exposed, and Kim came in with a clean hit, but was able to get him in the ribs. The throw was right there out of Bacon, though. It hit T-Boy right in the hands. That's a play that needs to really be made if you're going to beat some of these schools that are the top tier in 4A.
When you're facing a top 10 team, those are some. I mean, it was a tough play, but it's a play that a player of T-Boy White's caliber probably should make. I mean, he's a very talented player. I think you talk to T-Boy, he'd probably say, yeah, I probably could have caught that ball. But for those people that missed one of the more electric runs of the year that we've seen, T-Boy had on that one carry where he got right down to the 1-yard line, looked Barry Sanders-esque, making some people miss and eluding some defenders on that particular carry.
Yeah, T-Boy's real good at being able to stop and start very quickly. A lot of guys will pass by him, and it just looks like he's got Vaseline or something on his jersey, the way guys just slip off him.
So Bacon is up. He's limping back to the field. The injury doesn't look necessarily significant, but he does look like he'll be out probably for the rest of this series. The training staff's going to take a look and evaluate kind of where he is at health-wise. So that's going to put junior Grant Kramer, big, tall junior quarterback, back here. And this might be where Coach Woodley just looks to run the football, Terry, and just try to get 3 points from the kicker.
Yeah, at this point, you just want to make sure that the center quarterback exchange is made, the handoff is made, don't put the ball on the ground. I'm sure he's a little nervous at this point.
So that's going to be T-Boy White with the carry. Not a lot there on that carry for T-Boy White. And the clock is going to continue. We're going to be right under about 2 minutes here. 3rd and 10 for the Dragons. And again, Grant Kramer's just a different type of athlete for Johnston's offense. He's going to be a little longer, not as fleet of foot. He's a big, tall kid. They have him at 6'6", so he's not going to have the foot speed that Jared Bacon's going to have. But he will be able to see over the line, probably throw the ball a little bit, maybe cleaner than Jared will. It's going to be handoff to Grant Gosling. Grant Gosling finds some room off to the left. He's going to be close to the first down. Looks to be just a tad bit short there.
Yeah, he's about 2 yards short, I think, of the first down. But what's really important right there is the snap of the ball did not occur until 1 second was left on the play clock. So that's real smart, real good coaching out of the Dragons, because now they can just wait and make a decision here. Let the play clock get down to 1 second, call a timeout, talk about what you want to do, because you've still got a timeout left.
So the Dragons are going to run this clock down as much as they can, call timeout. My guess is that they'll bring Brady Jansen on to kick this field goal and hopefully go into the half up 20-0. So that's kind of the plan that Coach Woodley has. Urbandale is going to try to block the kick, defend it. I mean, they're going to look to regroup, Terry. It's been a frustrating half offensively for Urbandale. They haven't really been able to kind of take advantage of some big plays that they've had offensively, some third and shorts because of some turnovers, some negative plays. So the coaching staff has got to be kind of looking to go in, regroup, and really start this second half on a better note than they started this first half at.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure Coach Anderson's one of the best Iowa high school football coaches out there, so I would not be surprised at all to see Urbandale coming out in the second half, making some adjustments. He's going to talk about playing more clean. He's going to talk about moving the ball, because they are moving the ball. And at the same time, Coach Woodley's got to be very happy about moving the ball with his offensive lineman. 1 punt tonight, and mostly playing on Urbandale's side of the field. As a coach, you're going to be real happy going into half with that.
Well, Coach Woodley's surprising us. He has Jared Bacon back in. He was injured. Wishbone. Bacon's under center. He's going to hike it, and that is no-go there. Urbandale was coming hard, and they denied the Dragons on that 4th down. There was a no-doubter there by the Urbandale defensive line. They stuffed that play from the get-go, and T-Boy White had no chance to even get the first down there.
No, there was two Urbandale guys in the backfield. Number 74 just knifed right through there. Mowry went right through there, and no chance at all. Looked like a couple of missed blocks out of Johnston. Really surprised at the play call by Johnston there. I don't know if they were going for maybe the knockout, by going for it on 4th down when you got a kicker who pretty much has been putting it through the uprights from that distance consistently.
The wind had been blowing a little bit earlier, kind of against the Dragons on that, but right now the flag is calm, and you would assume Jansen
Urbandale's going to either get a delay game here, or they might have gotten the
I think
timeout.
they got the timeout ahead of time. They're looking over and pointing over at the bench there, so it's going to be timeout. We're at 52 seconds here. Urbandale's got the ball. The ball's going to be right at about the 32-yard line.
Urbandale's got a couple speedsters. I wouldn't be surprised to have Coach Anderson call a few plays here. Get maybe Nayu the ball out in space. Maybe get the youngster, number 5, Burnside, out in space, and just try to let those guys run. So I don't think they're going to sit on the ball here. I think they're going to press the issue and try to get some points on the board.
Yeah, two really good athletes there with Burnside and Gale there. Both, as you mentioned, got some really good speed on the outside. They also have Lang, who's a big receiver, number 80. He'll be split to the right of Rice here, and the offense is under center. Here's Rice. He's going to drop back. He's going to pass. He's looking to the right. Overthrows Gale on that, and it's going to be 2nd down.
I was locked in right there to watching the matchup between number 80, Blake Lang, and Jaron Proctor, and Proctor had him covered, was running step for step. So at this point, I think the Dragons are saying we're going to take away number 80 Lang, and you're going to have to beat us some other way if you're going to throw the ball.
So Rice is going to drop back to pass, and they do have Lang there. It's an overthrow on Rice to Lang. As you mentioned, Proctor was right there. Drew Singbush, the safety for the Dragons, was also in coverage, and this is going to bring up 3rd and 10.
As a defensive coordinator, you've got a guy out there that can basically shut down one side of the field, and that's got to be comforting for Coach Weavers to know that Urbandale's best wide receiver is being covered by a guy that's not going to get beat, Jaron Proctor.
Yeah, that was so far the Dragon defense has been very stifling, and it's going to be Gale on the carry again. He's eluded a few Dragon defenders, but he's only going to pick up a couple yards, and that might be the last play of the half here for Urbandale.
Yeah, number 29, Preston Arnold, did a really good job there of stringing out the play. He missed Nayal the first time, but he just got back up after he missed him and made the tackle. So not giving up there on the play. Good job out of Preston Arnold.
So Urbandale doesn't have to hike the football here, and they're going to be disappointed going into half 17-0. But it is what it is, and this half right now has been all Dragons, and the Dragons are going to go into the second half leading 17-0 in a half that was very dominant by the Dragons moving the football. So we'll see what Coach Woodley has to do here, kind of keep this momentum rolling into the second half. Urbandale's got to go in and they got to get some stuff back together, clean some things up, and really look to move the football. Clean up some mistakes. Just some names that we didn't get a chance to talk about before the game. Just with we'll talk about the Johnston offense first. Is Bacon so far the year he's completing 47% of his passes. As we mentioned, though, the offense is very different from what it looked like last year. They're running a split veer, looking to really run the football. And then they have two big backs. They have a senior running back, T-Boy White. He has 140 yards on the year. He's averaging 5.8 yards a carry. But you also have the big fullback, Grant Gosling. He's the yard leader for Johnston. He's got 163 yards coming in tonight, but he's averaging 5.3 yards a carry. So those are the names. Throwing the football, Johnston has really three guys that they look to. It'll be senior Carl Rasmussen. He's got 90 yards, including the lone touchdown that Jared Bacon has thrown. Noah Richards, also a senior, and Jacob Newcomb, who leads the team in receptions. He's got 6 receptions for 60 yards. Just some names that Urbandale has. They're led by Jake Heydrich, a big offensive guard, 6'4", 285 pounds. He signed to play college football next year at Arkansas. They have another big offensive lineman, Caleb Bright, number 53. He signed with Bowling Green. Both offensive linemen are big, nasty, physical high school football players. So with that, you would think that Urbandale would be able to move the football just a little bit more than they have so far, Terry.
Yeah, and with the game, it takes 11 guys out there. And you brought up Caleb Bright and some of these offensive linemen that are a little nasty. And tell you what, you put the spotlight on Caleb Bright, and he's buried a few guys. He has put a few guys in the ground tonight. But at the same time, the interior defensive line for Johnston, Boris Petrusik, Dino Depanovic, been doing a phenomenal job of really shutting down that inside game, and then letting linebackers run free on the outside. So when Urbandale goes to the outside with their pitches, there's a lot of pressure, and Johnston is forcing some of these miscues for Urbandale.
Well, the turnover was also big for Urbandale in the first half. They had the fumble in their own territory, really shortening the field for Johnston. And Johnston really punched. They got three. I think they got 3 additional points off that turnover. So Urbandale's been able to move the ball. They still have some work to do. Taking care of the football is going to be key for them in kind of cleaning up this half and getting back into this football game.
We got Dr. Lippincott here in the booth tonight.
We're visiting. Dr. Lippincott is here. Visited by a fellow Johnston guy. He's called some football games with us in the past, so it's nice to see a friendly face in the booth tonight. It's been a beautiful night so far. Couldn't ask for a better fall football night, Terry. To kind of get away from that heat. Like last Friday, it was 90 degrees going on. Players are probably a little more accustomed to having something like this tonight than last week.
Yeah, with the kind of offense that Johnston and Urbandale are running, these are really the offenses that offensive linemen, running backs, they really like this. The hot weather, that's more of the stuff where you had the spread offenses. So the wide receivers, the quarterbacks get good grips on the ball, things like that. So just beautiful out there tonight. I know a lot of the fans are enjoying being out here. We had the dance team. Now we got the band coming up, one of the best bands in the state of Iowa coming up. So just really overall for everybody, it's just a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a rivalry week, and so far this rivalry has really been just a Johnston-led rivalry right here. They're kind of in control of the game. Some other games tonight. I think Southeast Polk had a big game tonight. I can't remember who they had off the top of my head. I was trying to figure out who they had, but there's also the big game tomorrow, Terry, where the Hawks and the Iowa State. We see a lot of friendly rivalry here just in the stands. Big rivalry in our state, and up in Ames, it's going to be a packed house as well.
Yeah, today at school, just so many kids, so many staff members wearing around their spirit with the Hawkeyes or the Cyclones, and it'll be a fun atmosphere up there in Ames tomorrow.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know us, Terry and I are both middle school teachers at Johnston, and we call all the home games here for the Dragons. So we know a lot of these kids, and also, we know Urbandale's coaches. Respect Urbandale a lot. They have some really talented young men over in Urbandale as well. So this rivalry isn't new to either one of us, Terry. It's one of those things where you look on your schedule and you see Urbandale. You know it's going to be a rivalry. It's going to be a competitive game. And it's one of those games that you always look forward to.
Yeah, and some of these Johnston kids they might have a house that looks at one of their rivals' houses across the street on Meredith here in Des Moines. So these kids grow up playing against each other. Johnston Urbandale Soccer Club, baseball teams. They might even been on the same team, in youth sports. So there's a lot of respect, but healthy competition as well. They want the bragging rights, that's for sure.
So yeah, these kids typically have competed against one another for years at this point. They're familiar with one another, and as you mentioned, it is that rivalry between football, basketball, baseball. We're neighbors, and you never want to get beat by your neighbors. So it's one of those games where just always look forward to the fans here. It's a packed house at Johnston night as well. We're going to take a short break here to kind of get regrouped. We'll look forward to talking to you here at the start of the second half. All right, have a good break.
All right, welcome back, Dragon and Jayhawk fans. We're back live here at Johnston Stadium for the second half. Players are kind of finishing up their warm-ups. We're just kind of getting ready for some second half action. Right now, Dragons are up 17-0. It's been all Dragons so far in the first half. Dragons got to be worried, though. You know, kind of can't have that letdown. Like last week, we were talking, Terry. They went in. They were down 17-0 in the first half. They made that comeback, won it on the last second kick in the fourth quarter. Not something you want against your biggest rivals. That letdown going into the second half.
Historically, this game between Johnston and Urbandale has come down to the last play. I mean, there's been the last second field goal between the two. So you've got to come out. You got to understand that Urbandale's upset right now. They're not happy with the way they played, and they're going to want to clean things up. And what Johnston really needs to do is they got to come out and they got to keep playing physical like they were, and they just got to take away the will of Urbandale to stay in this fight. Yeah. That's really what Johnston wants to do the second half.
Yeah, and for Urbandale, they want to regroup. It wasn't their best half of football. They got to be disappointed with how they played. They're going to try to clean some things up and get back into this football game because Urbandale's a better team than what they showed in that first half.
Yeah.
We know that. Their performance last week against Dowling supports that. So Urbandale is a better football team than what they showed in that first half, and I think we're going to see a much improved and a more typical Urbandale football team in this second half.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised here. Urbandale coming out. Johnston's going to get the ball. Urbandale's going to try to get that stop. And then that first offensive possession for Urbandale is just going to be real key. If they can get the ball moving, they get points on the board, then this really becomes a pretty heated contest. If they stall again, really time starts really ticking and it starts going away with these kind of offenses.
And Urbandale, for the most part, had some really positive plays and then would have a 5-6 yard loss, sometimes an 8-yard loss, where it really put them behind the chains, and it really made it hard for them to get a first down. They'd be in second and 6, second and 5. There was a big sack on the one play that we would have missed in the first half. Also, some fumbles on the offensive on the pitch that Rice had. So Urbandale, it's got to be thinking, well, we could be in a much better spot if we would just clean a lot of what we did up. So right now, back for the Dragons, they will receive here this second half kick. We have number 1, Jaron Proctor, number 5, T-Boy White. Kicking for Urbandale is Hunter St. John. It's the first kick that we've seen from Urbandale. We were watching him in warm-ups. He looked like he had a strong foot as well. He's punted for the Jayhawks, but this is the first time we see him kicking off. So we're ready to start this second half of CIML football. And again, it's rivalry week this week. And just some updates from around the CIML. Dowling was leading 21-14 against Waukee in the first half. Valley was up 28-0 against Southeast Polk. And St. John's with the kick here. And Proctor's going to run to the sideline, catch it right around the 9-yard line, and then take that out. Not a lot of room for Proctor, but he's going to get just past the 26-yard line, and that's where Bacon and the Dragon offense will take over.
Yeah, real fortunate there. Proctor was able to stay in bounds. That kick was angled. Really great kickoff by Hunter St. John there, pinning Johnston on the left side of the field. And from here, the offense is taking the field. We'll see what happens. Carl Rasmussen's out at tight end.
Yeah, nice kick there by St. John. Really made it difficult to decide if Proctor lets it go or receive it. He decided to receive it, probably a good decision. It's going to be a quick handoff. Looks like that might be T-Boy White up front for a short gain. Looks like he's going to falls forward for about a 5-yard gain. Nice little fall forward there by T-Boy White.
Yeah, for those of you who have been watching Johnston football for a while, this is a very big change in philosophy for the offensive linemen. They're going to use angles more with down blocks. They're going to fire off the ball as opposed to a lateral step, which is what they did with the zone blocking. And it seems to fit the personnel a little better.
So Bacon's going to hand it off again. Looks like T-Boy White. He is brought down by a host of Jayhawk defenders.
Looked like number 47 was it
Lee Chinyama.
Chinyama on the tackle. Also was Turner Ellis was in there as well for Urbandale. So it's going to be 3rd and 4 for Johnston. We mentioned that's what Urbandale wants. They want to kind of stop the Dragons here to start this 3rd quarter, get the ball back, put some points on the board, get that momentum rolling. The Dragons, they want to keep moving this football, keep the clock moving, keep that momentum in their favor. Bacon's under center. He's going to hand that ball off to Grant Gosling, and there is no room up front. A great job by the Urbandale D-line of pinching there and stopping the momentum of Grant Gosling there.
Yeah, if you're seeing Anderson over on the Urbandale sideline, this is exactly the way you wrote it up. You said, guys, we're going to come out, we're going to pin Johnston, we're going to get a 3 and out, we're going to get great field position, and they got their speedster out there, number 5, just a freshman, Javon Burnside, and this guy has already shown that he can play at the varsity level as a freshman.
On that play particularly, Turner Ellis and Chinyama were the big defensive linemen with Mowry. That was close to being blocked on that kick. Johnson's fairly fortunate that kick was not blocked, and that ball's going to roll right to about the 32-yard line. So Johnston, 3 and out. Urbandale's got the start that they wanted in the second half. A nice defensive stop there up front by the defensive line to gain some momentum, and we'll see what Urbandale's offense can do. For those of you that are joining in, again, Urbandale's got some big offensive linemen. They're led by Jake Heinrich, an Arkansas recruit. Also, Caleb Bright, Bowling Green recruit, big offensive lineman. They're 6'4", 285. They're big, strong high school football players, and they're been really pushing the Johnson defensive lineman here early in the game. So Rice is going to take that ball. He's going to get buried by Alec Jackson, number 94. Forces the pitch to be behind the pitch man, who is number 14, Tavian Gardner, and it is going to be a big loss for Urbandale. So not the start that Urbandale was hoping for on that first down play. It's going to be a significant loss. It's going to make that 2nd and 20. A nice play by Jackson for Johnston. Did his job, took care of Rice, the quarterback, on that play. Rice is under center again. Gayow's on that. The motion, Rice keeps it. He's going to get almost all of that back on that carry. He's going to be close to the original line of scrimmage, just past that.
Yeah, Urbandale's made the adjustment. I'm just looking out here, and what they've done is they've taken Heinrich, who was playing right guard, and they've moved him around a little bit, but he's now playing on the left side beside Bright, and I think they're just going to play big boy football right now. You got at center, you got a 300-pounder at center, you got a 300-pounder at left guard, and you got a 285-pounder at left tackle. That's a big offensive lineman.
So it's 3rd and 9 here from the 33. Rice is going to drop back, avoids one Johnson defender, but can't avoid the second round. That looks like that was Carl Rasmussen, number 8, as well as Alec Jackson, number 94, with the pressure for Johnston. So Rice went back to pass. Johnson was on a blitz. Jackson got there quickly, forced Rice to kind of miss his first read, and then Rasmussen kind of came in and cleaned up the rest of that sack.
Yeah, Rice didn't have any chance there. Rasmussen was on a blitz, and by the time he turned around to throw, Rasmussen was right there, and Rice was just trying to survive and hold on to the ball.
So we have Proctor, number 1, back for the Dragons, and also number 25, Nolan Monty. Looks like Proctor's going to take that at about the 36. And several flags on the play. Proctor goes down after a short gain on the punt return. It looks like Johnson's going to be moved back on these penalties. It looks like both of those are going to go against the Dragons and push them back. And we're at 8 minutes, just under 8 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Score still 17-0 Johnston. So both teams here kind of sputtering out of the gates in the 3rd quarter. 2 3 and outs, both sides. Not a lot. Good defense.
Yeah, Johnston's strength this year is going to be their defense. They've just got so many athletes on the defensive side of the ball, and guys who've been playing for a long time. I mean, the linebacking core for Johnston with Carl Rasmussen and Jackson Clausen and Eric Siedenberg, those guys have been playing the same defensive position since they were 9th graders, the exact same positions in the same defense. So they know how to play the defense, and then you got their defensive linemen too that have been playing the same positions as well, and Alec Jackson, Dino Depanovic, Boris Petrusik, and then you get Preston Arnold in there, a long guy playing defensive end, and they're just real athletic.
So Johnston is going to start the ball at the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. That penalty didn't go against Johnston, and Bacon is under center. Urbandale looks to be pressing a little bit more on the line of scrimmage here to start the second half. They're going to be a little more aggressive. Linebackers coming in. Bates going to pitch that to Grant Gosling. He is brought down by number 1 on the outside, Kyle Stolze.
Stolze just came flying up there from the safety position and tackled just right at the ankles and upended Gosling. So real nice play.
Yeah, nice tackle in open field there by Stolze. And the first time that we've really called his name, and the first time I really noticed him there, a nice play there by Stolze as a safety. Bacon's under center again. He has Grant Gosling. They're going to throw it out to T-Boy White out in some space. He's going to get some yards. Not much, but he's going to gain a few. A flag again on the play. And this might go against Johnston as well. Looks like a holding penalty that's going to go against Johnston. It's going to push them back even further. And it is a hold against the Dragons.
Yeah, Urbandale's made an adjustment here as well. They got on the tight end side for Johnston. They just have brought the corner basically right up against the tight end. So there's 8 in the box that Johnston's trying to run against, and the Dragons are looking for just that little crease, because they get that little crease, get T-Boy White and even Gosling out in the open field, and they'll be gone. But the other thing is you just jam up the inside too. So
Urbandale's really daring right now Johnston to throw the football.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
They're being aggressive on the defensive end, and really going to take that running game away from the Dragons. So Bacon's under center. We're in that split veer. He's going to turn. He's going to hand the ball off to Grant Gosling. Not a lot there. As we mentioned, Urbandale is looking to stuff the run, and that's what they've been doing here in the second half. So not a lot for Grant Gosling to go there. It's going to be 3rd and 15. The ball's on the 25-yard line.
Yeah, just a good play by Derek Mowry. He was able to get in there. He got some penetration, grabbed a hold, and his teammates came rallying to the ball. So 3rd down and long.
Yeah, just a different level of intensity that Urbandale's come out to in the 3rd quarter. You can definitely tell that they're playing a little more angry, aggressive football. The defensive is the line and the linebackers really stepped it up here in the second half. Bacon's going to drop back the pass. Throws it into open space to Nuka. Nuka makes the catch. It's still going to be short of the 1st down. A really nice touch pass there by Bacon, but it looked like that ball might not have the height to go over the Urbandale linebacker, but it did, and it did find Newcomb.
Yeah, just from up here in the booth, I thought Trevor Kim was going to take that one to the house, but it did just get over the outstretched hands of Kim and right into Newcomb. So pretty decent field position to punt, which is okay for Johnston in this offense. The punt's all right.
Yeah, the last time it was fairly close on the punt. Benson gets a good one off. It's going to be just short of Burnside here, who's a 9th grader for Urbandale. Had a nice kickoff return in the first half. This ball's just going to roll and stop right around the 22-yard line. So a nice punt by Benson, no return for Urbandale. So Urbandale's going to start again for with their second possession here in the 3rd quarter at their 22-yard line.
Yeah, Johnston on that punt, I'm sure they're going to be talking about the protectors back there, because number 48 for the Urbandale Jayhawks, Turner Ellis, just came and pushed back the protector almost right into the punter. And so Johnston's going to need to clean that up, because I'm sure Urbandale is going to be attacking that weakness right now.
So the Johnston Dragons are pitching a shutout so far, are stepping up against this Urbandale offense as well. Rice is going to drop back to pass, throws to the outside to Lang. That's going to be an incomplete pass. Proctor on the coverage. Looked like the pass was just a tad bit outside of Lang's reach. Would have been a tough play for him to make. And Urbandale looking to throw the ball on 1st down.
Yeah, that's interesting. They had a little speed out there, gonna make maybe 3 yards or so. But looking at their offensive line, they're still keeping their big boys on the left side of the line. So eventually I would imagine they're going to come running right there. And here we go.
Yeah, it was a big push, as you mentioned, Terry, by the big offensive linemen, Bright and Heinrich. I mean, they were 5 yards downfield, pushing their guys back. The center also, he got down, he got to the safety level, so they're getting to the secondary level. It could be a point where they get a big run if they can get past the linebackers. It looks like Nayu is a little banged up on that play. He's being attended to by the Urbandale trainers.
Yeah, right now I'm sure Sam Anderson, offensive coordinator, is saying, run the ball to the left side. Doesn't matter how many guys Johnston puts over there. We got a 320-pound center. We got a 300-pound left guard.
They're going to run it with Burnside to the outside. He got some space, and the speedster's got some room. The freshman takes that down just past the 20-yard line. He got outside of containment there, and he turned on the jets and made a nice carry. That was a nice run there by Javon Burnside. Puts the ball down inside, just outside the 20-yard line. So Urbandale started to move the ball here.
Yeah, just Johnston got sucked in there, and you can't get sucked in. Johnston's got a freshman out here playing corner, number 13 for Johnston. Just a freshman, Anthony Coleman.
So Rice is under center. Newberg is the fullback. He's going to get the carry. A flag on that play. Heinrich just buried one of the Johnston linebackers coming in. He just took him and tossed him to the ground. It was an impressive play by Jake Heinrich, the Arkansas recruit. However, there's a flag on the Johnston offensive line that's going to push them back 10 yards.
Yeah, just a big push over there on the left-hand side. But tell you what, Alec Jackson is causing some havoc out there for the Urbandale Jayhawks. He is playing a real strong, phenomenal game there, defensive end, going up against the big guys. So Johnston's putting strength on strength. Jackson's moved over to the right side.
So for those of you that would like to watch a big-time football player on the offensive line, number 75, he will be the left guard for Urbandale. It's a pass play by Rice. He's on the outside. It's an overthrow for Rice, the intended receiver for Urbandale. Looks like that is number 81, Brendan Kennedy.
Yeah, just in real good coverage there by Nolan Monty on the play. So got a safety, or no Monty playing corner this year. So got Monty out there on young guy for Urbandale, number 81, Brendan Kennedy. He's only a sophomore, 6'1", 180. So a lot of size.
So it's going to be 2nd and 20 from the 31. Rice is under center. He drops back to pass. A quick drop. It's a double move. He's going to throw it. Good coverage on the outside by Proctor. Slingbush was also on the coverage. The pass was intended for Lang. Good coverage. Proctor didn't bite on that initial pass or pump fake. Slingbush went over. Good defensive coverage. Good fundamentals on that play by Proctor.
Yeah, and Slingbush was over the top the whole way there. Fortunate for Urbandale that the ball was thrown to the outside, because Slingbush, had it been thrown to the inside at all, Slingbush was going to intercept that pass. So a big third down here for Johnston. Big third down here for Urbandale as well, because you're in 4-down territory, so they'd look to get a few yards and get a play then on 4th down that is manageable.
So we have Gardner. It's going to be a kind of a counter here. A nice play there. Looked like that was number 24, Siedenberg on the play. It's going to be a loss of even more for Urbandale. And this is, what do you do here if you're Urbandale?
I mean, I think you go for it, because you punt the ball. The reality is, high school punter, probably going to go into the end zone. So you go for it here. Maybe hope for a pass interference. They just tried the counter. They're not going to come back to a counter again.
So it's going to be 4th and a long 20 yards. It's going to be thrown to the outside. Oh, flag on the play. Looked like good coverage by Proctor. It was tight coverage and physical coverage, but they're going to throw the flag on him, and Lang and Urbandale is going to get the first down on the penalty.
Yeah, I think that's what Coach Anderson was just hoping for there, is, hey, let's just do a release route and throw the ball up in the air and see what happens. Maybe we get a pass interference, maybe we catch it.
So that's going to give the Jayhawks a first down. Big first down there in a 4th and 21. Not what Coach Woodley and Coach Weavers for Johnston's going to want.
I don't know in high school football if it's an automatic first down. I think what it is you get.
Oh, you're right, Terry.
No, I think they are. No, it does stay 4th down. So this is still a 4th down, but I mean this becomes a much more manageable 4th down here.
Urbandale may think of trying to kick the football here, and I see the kicker running out into the field. So you're exactly right, Terry. It's going to be 4th and 6. They're going to bring Hunter St. John back out to kick this football.
Get a chance. Watch on the right-hand side. You got Carl Rasmussen. He's been doing this for a long time. He's going to come flying in there trying to block this.
So Hunter St. John will be the place kicker for Urbandale. It's down. Plenty of distance on that, and it is good. Nice kick there by St. John. Plenty of leg as well. There's some big-footed kickers playing in this game, and that was a no doubt about it field goal for Urbandale. So the shutout's gone. Urbandale's on the board. The score right now is 17-3. We're just over 3 minutes here into the 3rd quarter. So Urbandale has been kind of got bailed out maybe a little bit with that penalty. Take advantage of that, put some points on the board, and have some momentum here in the 3rd quarter. Yeah,
that play from over on the sideline with the booth on Johnston's sideline, they looked like pretty good coverage, but you're the official over on the Urbandale sideline and probably have a little bit of influence there because there was some contact and they got the call. That's just the way it is, and they're able to take advantage of it with 3 points. But now let's see how Johnston responds offensively and see what kind of life the Urbandale defense has, because they've really pretty much stopped Johnston in the second half. Johnston's gone nowhere.
There's no doubt about that. Urbandale's defense has really turned up the pressure on Johnston, and their defensive line, their linebackers did a great job here in the 3rd quarter. So Johnston's going to have to make some adjustments on the offensive end to kind of counter what Urbandale's done from the defensive side of the football. This kick by St. John's going to go into the end zone. This is going to be a touchback. And the Dragons are going to start from their own 20-yard line. So we'll see what adjustments Johnston has to make. They're going to have to look to throw the ball a little bit more, maybe on the outside. Maybe some misdirection with that kind of comeback guy. Maybe look Ghanaian, go a little bit of a wishbone like they did earlier in the game. But looks like Bacon's under center here. He's going to throw an out pass intended for Svetska, and he is it's kind of off his hands up in the air, and that's a ball that Urbandale might wish that they had back. That ball was tipped up. It would have been a great opportunity for Urbandale to kind of get that. Nothing that Urbandale could have done. It was just kind of one of those passes that it was tipped up. Nothing that they could do, but potential turnover waiting to happen on that.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Johnston came out in a wishbone, and they may need to go back to that wishbone based on the way that Urbandale is playing defense right now.
They're just bringing the blitz in. Yeah. And there's nothing that they can do. T-Boy White is wrapped up.
Number 11.
Looks like that's Kim again. Kim has just been wrecking havoc here in the second half on blitzes. He's been is on the snap count. He's made a heck of several really good plays here in the second half, and right now he's been a one-man wrecking crew against this Johnston offense.
Yeah, he just came right over between guard and center there, and he started on the right-hand side, and then right before the snap, he moved over to the left-hand side, knifed right through, made a real good play. So you can see the adjustments being made by Urbandale. Let's see what kind of adjustments get made by Johnston.
So Bacon's going to drop back to pass. He's going to throw outside to T-Boy White. He's going to elude a few defenders. He's going to step out of bounds here to get a few yards back. But Johnston's again going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, Urbandale's they got to be real fired up on that right there. Johnston's deep still. It's 4th down. They're going to get the ball in real good field position. They put number 8 back, so number 8 for Johnston's back to return this, Hank Puckett.
Sorry for number 8 for Urbandale.
Oh, I'm sorry for Urbandale.
But you're right, Terry. Urbandale's got to really be happy with how they've started this 3rd quarter.
They've got 3 points. They're going to start with really good field position, you would assume, just on this punt. Benson gets it off. Puckett comes up and grabs it. Does a good job getting that punt and preventing that ball from rolling. And Urbandale's going to get some really good field position to start this drive.
Yeah, good field position. I'm sure, not sure what happened with Burnside, but right there, Puckett did the thing that you would expect an older player to do. He came up and fielded the punt, didn't let it hit the ground. That's real important. Now they've got the ball inside Johnston field position, and got to be feeling pretty good about the way they can move it, though. They really do.
I think you make a good call on that. Puckett was one that went and got the football, where Burnside maybe is one guy that's kind of waiting to field it on the bounce. So we have Rice underneath center. Gardner's in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Newberg up there, and you just got a chance to see Heinrich and Wright take the linebacker and that D end and just kind of do work to those two on the left-hand side. Nice gain there by Newberg. It's going to be a 6-yard gain. Urbandale's picking up the pace here. It's going to be a keeper by Rice. He found some space, kind of slid through a real small opening. A nice read there by Rice.
Yeah, right now Urbandale's offensive line is pushing Johnston back 2 to 3 yards at the point of contact. I mean, Rice got hung up with his fullback Newberg, so the play was delayed, and he still was able to get 3 yards before he even got touched.
So Newberg's going to get that ball. Not a lot on that carry. Good job by the Johnston defenders. It was Arnold in on that tackle. Number 90, Stephen Williams, was in on there as well. So short gain there for Urbandale. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, good job by the interior lineman for Johnston there, allowing the linebackers to stay clean.
It's going to be a pitch to, I think that's Nayu, who was banged up earlier. He had a nice run to get to the outside, and right now Urbandale's really been moving the football here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that's a real tough play, well-designed play out of Urbandale, because you just let the defensive end, you just let him go. So then you get that right tackle who's able to get on a linebacker, and you got your speed guy flying around the outside.
So Rice hands it off to Newberg. Again, not much on that side of the football. I'm surprised that they're not looking to run more behind Wright and Heinrich.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just a cat and mouse game here, if they're overthinking things a little bit, but it does seem like they're running to the right side, even though their big boys are on the left side, and I don't see Johnston shading anymore to the right side.
So it's going to bring up 2nd and 7. The ball's on the 9-yard line. Rice is under center. And again, he's going to be, look like Rice had the carry there.
Yep, that's just midline right there. So a little bit different from what Johnston does with the veer. Johnston's going to read outside lineman, defensive end, where on midline you're going to read interior defensive lineman, and in that case the quarterback, he's reading and he decides to keep the ball and get some positive yards. So big play for Johnston and Urbandale right here.
So Gardner's going to be underneath. It's going to be handed off to number 36, Vernon Cheatham. And it looks like he's going to be real close to a first down for Urbandale. Looking at where the ball is marked, it's going to be a first down. It's going to be 1st and short. It'll actually be 1st and goal here. The ball's on the 1-yard line for Urbandale. So they may want to keep up the pacing of this. They've really been able to move the football this drive. It's probably been their best drive of the game so far, Terry.
Yeah, this really has.
Whistle on the play here.
Is it a timeout?
Like end of the quarter, possibly on that. So it looks like Johnson's going to switch ends. And Urbandale is got to be happy with where they're sitting entering the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Urbandale's got a first down, goal to go on the 1-yard line. Wouldn't expect anything real fancy right here. Get the ball, run it up the middle behind the big offensive lineman.
Yeah, they've done a good job moving the football here. And then this might be one of those things where you talk about the offensive lineman wearing the defensive lineman out. So, they continue to run the football. They've been pounding on that defensive line for 3 quarters now, and we might be seeing kind of the effects of those big guys doing work these 3 quarters.
Yeah. After so long of being leaned on by the big guys, it doesn't matter for the Johnston guys how much strength and conditioning they've been able to do all summer long, and they just don't have the weight that these other guys have to be able to put up with this kind of punishment. There really hasn't been a lot of rotation on the defensive line for Johnston. A lot of their guys have been out there the whole time. So, offensive linemen, a lot of times they want to run the ball every single play. Think of the really great Wisconsin teams, the big offensive linemen for them. They really get things geared up in the later quarters, and that might be what we see here.
Yeah, so Urbandale right now is first and goal from the 1. Johnston has a few, they got a chance to catch some wind here. See if they can come up with a big defensive stop here. It would be huge if Johnston could stop Urbandale here. Rice is under center. Looks like they're going to give it to Newberg, and it looks like Newberg got in, and it's going to be a touchdown. And Urbandale is on a 9-0 run, looking to make it 10-0, and have a lot of momentum right now.
No, really neat to see what Coach Anderson's doing over there at Urbandale. He's got these offensive linemen, really good offensive linemen, right there. He just put Bright at left guard, and he had Heinrich at right guard, and they ran it right up the middle with their strength. So a lot of times you think of the skill guys moving around. Well, Coach Anderson's actually moving around his offensive linemen to put them in the best position that they can for each play.
And it also makes it difficult for the defense to adjust. You can adjust somewhat to the line, the skill players moving, but it's a little bit harder maybe to adjust that quickly with the offensive line. That kick is up and good for St. John. It's going to make this score 17-10, and Johnston's reeling a little bit. They haven't been able to move the football here in the second half. Urbandale went in, made some really good adjustments at halftime. They've been really pressing the Johnston offense with blitzes. Kim's been just a machine here in the second half so far, and Johnston has really got to find some answers on the offensive end. Right now, they got to be concerned.
Yeah, there's some concern on Johnston, and like you said, there's almost a feel of on Johnston's side a little panic, kind of not really knowing what their identity is right now. Lots of throws in the offense, really throwing the ball quite a bit, even throwing the ball in early downs. Realize that Urbandale does have a lot of guys in the box, but in this kind of offense, you need to run the ball. You need to get 3 yards each time. That's the goal. So going back to that wishbone, I don't know if Ghanaian is hurt, and that's why they haven't been able to get back, but maybe you pack it all in, and you just try to run right at them.
So St. John with a really high kick. It's going to be taken into the end zone by Proctor, and the Dragons are going to start this drive at the 20-yard line. So maybe the drive of the game here for the Dragon offense. They've really been struggling here. Urbandale's made some really good adjustments, as we mentioned, on the defensive end. And right now, Urbandale's got to be feeling pretty happy with where they are, or where they're at, considering kind of how they played that first half.
Yeah, they've got the momentum. There's 12 minutes left, and this is the kind of game that we really expected, and that you come to expect from a Johnston Urbandale game. It's going to come down to the wire.
Bacon's under center. They look like they were right on the snap count there by Urbandale. They did the defensive line cut knife right in there, and there wasn't anything Bacon could do. So Johnson's got to look at maybe changing the cadence up. The defensive line there for Urbandale was right on that, and they cut right in there, and it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, number 47, Leach and Yama. It almost looked like he knew the snap count, and he was off the ball before the offensive lineman for Johnston was off the ball.
So Bacon's going to be out there. It's going to be a handoff to Gosling. He's going to get a couple yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8.
And this is the offense that Johnston has. This is what they have to understand. Getting 3 yards, it's what they do. The big chunks that they used to get with their offense, that's not coming with this kind of offense. So Looks like they are going. Nope, they are going under center here. I didn't know, a little confusion
So
there.
Bacon's going to be underneath center. He's going to take that. It's going to be a handoff to Grant Gosling again. They're going to get 2 yards. And Johnson's going to look to punt again and give that ball back to Urbandale. So a little more movement for the offense. However, it's still not going to be enough, and Johnson's going to have to punt again, giving the ball to the Urbandale offense, which is really just got done with its best drive of the game, moving that football down and scoring that touchdown and making this game 17-10. So Urbandale's going to get good field position, you would assume, on this as well. Looks like Newberg is back to receive the kick for Urbandale.
I think that's number 15 back.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, Terry. That was a great punt by Benson. Stolze was the defensive back that was back. And that right there was a big punt by Benson.
Yeah, Johnston
Really
needed a
flipped
flip
the
field. They needed a flip field here. The defense, one nice thing about with the offense, the defense was able to get a little bit of a breather there. They need to really stiffen up here against this pretty powerful Urbandale offensive line.
If you're Urbandale, you're just looking to keep that momentum, build off that momentum, and just keep moving the football. They were getting it in 4 or 5 yard chunks and marched all the way down the field. And there's not much I'd look to change if I'm Urbandale, Coach Anderson for Urbandale. Rice with a fake pitch there. Not a lot of room.
Those were the plays in the first half that Urbandale was running that they had some success, but they were also the plays that became negative plays for Urbandale. Whereas the second half, they've been running quite a few plays up the middle to their fullback, quarterback, midline read going up the middle, that quick toss that goes really around the outside. That's been really, their bread and butter this second half. So I'd imagine they're going to come back to that here on second down.
So Rice is under center. He's going to give it to Newberg. He finds some space in between the tackles there, and he's going to fall forward for about a 4-yard gain.
Yep, that's just what that's what the offense is designed to do. So now all of a sudden, Urbandale's in a 3rd down and 3. It's manageable. They can run the ball here. Their offensive linemen have really taken over and have been pushing 3 yards. So look to have Urbandale stay on the ground.
So a big play here in the 4th quarter, 3rd and 4. Urbandale's going to hand that off to Newberg. I don't think he's going to get enough.
That looks to be about a half yard shy based on.
It's going to be close. It's going to make this call a difficult call for Coach Anderson and Urbandale. It looks like it's going to be enough to move the chains.
Oh, wow, that was an interesting spot there.
So that chains are moved. A nice run by Newberg. It fell forward to get the 1st down. It looked like it was close. He did just enough to get the chains moved. So a big 1st down for Urbandale. If they can keep avoiding those negative plays, which they had kind of in the first half and also the first drive of the second half, but they've been able to move the ball. A lot of room on the left-hand side for Newberg. He runs over one defender. Singbush took the brunt of that hit, and Newberg just bounced off of him. There is a Urbandale player that is down on the sideline bench. It looks like that may be Newberg.
Yeah, Newberg, well, first of all, really great play call there, but Newberg had a lot of open space to run. He came up, lowered the shoulders into Singbush, who came up and made a big hit. But now Newberg looks to be a little bit shaken up.
Yeah, Newberg did a great job of just kind of taking the big hit and bouncing off of that. I didn't see the secondary hit with what Newberg did, but this would be a huge blow for Urbandale if you happen to lose Newberg, because he's really been kind of that big power back that Urbandale's used in the middle. So he's limping off.
Oh, he's hurt. He's not feeling real good right now. It looks like a lower leg injury for him. 2 coaches now are having to take him off, so we'll hope they can get him fixed up on the sideline, get back into the game, because he's definitely a good competitor and a key piece to Urbandale's football team.
It's been a big part of Urbandale's success. And Nice play. I mean, probably the best play that Urbandale had on the offensive line in the offensive series was that play right there. That's going to put Vernon Cheatham in for Newberg. Number 36. He's a senior running back. He was in on that last drive, so they may not lose a ton.
Looks like a Johnston player lost his helmet there on the play, but real nice job by the Johnston defensive line being able to get Rice contained on that read.
So it's going to make this 2nd and 9. You can just feel this game's going to tighten up here even more than it already is. Whistle there for look, Arnold was going to get his shoe on. So the officials calling time there so that the player's ready. Johnson's kind of moving some people around. Rice will be under center. He's got Cheatham back there. Nao does a good job getting to the outside. The Johnston safety that came up really kind of took an angle that wasn't real conducive for him to make the tackle.
Yeah, Carter Wunsch, just not a real good angle, but tell you what, Noah Monty played it the right way on the outside. He kept his man contained. He kept the outside leverage so that the running back couldn't get around him. So that brings up a big 3rd down here.
So Nau had the edge. Nice play here. Again, a big 3rd down for Urbandale and Johnston here. Rice is under center. They're making some adjustments here on the line of scrimmage. Nau is in the middle. Rice looks like he's going to keep it, and he's going to get the 1st down. Nice read there by Rice. A little counter action to the fullback, and Rice keeps it and gets 7 yards on the carry and moves the chains.
Yeah, they just keep running that play where fullback through. Sometimes Rice keeps it. Well, and this time fullback goes through and Rice decides to follow him right back through. So they've been holding that play in their back pocket a little bit, and really well-timed call.
So Urbandale continues to move the ball. The ball's on the 34-yard line. We're under 7 minutes. The score is 7, Johnston 17, Urbandale 10. Rice drops back to the pass. There was a couple guys that were open, and looked like Lang is going to make the catch. The ball was a little underthrown. Lang did a good job of coming back to the football, and that ball is going to be down right about at the 10-yard line. So a big gain there for Johnston. Maybe not the best pass Rice has had, but Lang did a good job of adjusting to the throw.
Yeah, Lang just phenomenal job coming back to the ball. That's tough on a defensive back when a ball is underthrown that much. He didn't, Proctor didn't know where the ball was, and
Rice gives the ball to Cheatham. Cheatham's going to get 7 yards, it looks like, on that carry, or 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be right down around the 2-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and goal.
Yep, 2nd and goal here for Urbandale. Looks like really the only adjustment that Urbandale's made is Bright's back at the left tackle again. Heinrich's at the right guard.
We're going to give the ball to Cheatham. And there was no room there for Cheatham. And it's going to make this 3rd and goal.
Yeah,
it's going to make this an interesting call here for Urbandale. If they don't get in here or even a little bit closer, time is ticking here. Urbandale does have 3 timeouts, so this is going to be a big play for the Dragons and also Urbandale. So we mentioned this rivalry game. It's always going to be close. This is right where we were talking about at the beginning of the game. It's going to be a pitch. Nau is going to not be able to get that. Kind of slipped a little bit on that. And that slip is going to cost Nao and Urbandale on that play.
Yeah, even without the slip, I think Johnston really did a nice job there covering that play. So now you're St. Anderson. What do you do here? You're down by 7. 5 minutes left in the game. You got a 4th down and about 8 yards.
So Anderson is going to take some time here to think about this. It's going to be 4th and goal, under 5 minutes. Urbandale's taking a little bit of time here. Crowd on both ends are up and loud. Rice is under center. He drops back. It looked like there's a timeout there on Urbandale's side to kind of regroup and maybe get themselves a little more composed than they were on that play. It seemed like they were rushed. A good timeout by Anderson. It didn't seem like they were real comfortable with what they had with the play, and then also maybe with just the players knowing what they were doing on that play. So good call by Coach Anderson here. Big play of the game. No doubt that a timeout is really what Sam Anderson is, because he wants to get the right play.
Yeah, Urbandale went to a different formation here. They really had three wide receivers on one side of the field and one on the other, and looks like an obvious passing down. Wouldn't be surprised though if they had some kind of a quarterback draw in their playbook here. Rice is the playmaker. Nayu's a playmaker. Looks like Newberg will not be in on this play, so you want to really try to get the ball to your playmakers. Possibly get an isolation over here with Lang on someone. So lots of possibilities here. See, kind of looks like a different formation for Urbandale. So the timeout
might be one of these play action passes where you try to leak a guy out on the end too. Cheatham's looking in.
Cheatham and Nayu are
looks like
asking
there's
for
a guy
some help.
short. Just a quick change of personnel.
Number 6 just came in the game. Maluski just came in the game here. So
we'll see what Coach Anderson and the Urbandale offense has in mind here.
yeah, wouldn't be surprised if Maluski's someone that has some pretty good hands and they try to sneak him out here in the flat.
So Rice is underneath. The crowd on both ends are on their feet. There's 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Johnston's up 17-10. This might be where Coach Woodley wants to call a timeout, maybe see what they're doing. Little cat and mouse maybe.
Yeah, definitely have enough time to know what the other side's doing here. I don't know what the delay is by the officials.
So we are ready for action here in the biggest play of the game so far. Rice is under center. He drops back to pass, a little crossing route. Looked like Johnston was just in a tad bit early on that play. Looked like that was number 14, Drew Slingbush, the safety that came up. It looked like he was just a tad bit early on that. And there's going to be a flag on that play, and Urbandale is going to get another shot at this.
Yeah, they're going to get half the distance to the goal here. And Slingbush, he was definitely early there on that play. He came up and played through the player. Just a little bit early, so change in personnel. This looks like more of a running formation now. They put Nayu back in.
So it's going to be 4th down again. A little bit of a replay here. 4th and 3. Nayu is back in the game. Rice is under center. We're having a replay of the biggest play of the game so far. It's going to be a keeper by Rice, and it is close.
He's
it does look like
he's
he is short. Johnson's not out of the woods quite yet, but for right now they are. A big stop there by the Dragon defense. A huge stop right now in the game. It's 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Rice was stopped at the half-yard line by a host of Johnston Dragon defenders, so it was hard to say who it was in that pile. Rice made a nice call and tried to keep it. It just ended up short. So huge stop for Dragons. Urbandale's not out of this yet. There's still 4 minutes and 25 seconds, but Johnston with a big stop there on that 4th down play.
Yeah, that was huge for Johnston. The defense was fired up. Carl Rasmussen, Boris Petrusik met here on the 40 and jumped up in the air, and Boris ended up on his backside, and they both just laughing about it. So defense is having a good time, but now the offense has got to get out of the back of the end zone.
So this might be a quarterback sneak, and that's exactly
good
what it is.
Good push out of the offensive line for Johnston there. Real good push.
Bacon.
I wouldn't be surprised to see another quarterback sneak getting 3 yards
This
here.
might be one of those times where you're just looking to burn some clock here. You might want to run this down just a tad bit.
Yeah, that was
Urbandale's got 2 timeouts. Johnston's got 3 timeouts. We're under 4 minutes. The Dragons are up 17-10. A huge stop by the Johnston Dragon defense at the 3-yard line against a strong Urbandale offensive line and a team that was just moving the ball pretty much at will there in the 4th and 3rd quarter. So Bacon is under center at 2nd and 6. The ball is on the 5-yard line. A flag on the play.
Looks like it's gonna be a delay of game on Johnston. There just didn't get the snap off in time. Not what you wanted to have after that real positive play on 1st down. So now you're back to 2nd down, and it looks like 8 yards instead of 2nd down and 6 yards.
So mental mistake there for the Dragons. The officials are going to just a lot of communication here between officials. The flow of the game has really slowed down too, Terry, with just the officiating.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Coach Woodley's being talked to over here by the side judge, and I'm not really sure what's going on. If it was a whistle issue there where the play clock started before Johnston was ready, but there's some communication going on, so definitely slowing down the game a lot.
So the Dragons and the officials here are finally done talking to one another. Coach Woodley kind of got the news maybe he didn't want to hear, but regardless of where we are with that conversation, this will be 2nd and 8. Ball's at 3 minutes and 38 seconds here. So Bacon's under center. He's going to turn, hand the ball to Gus Ghanaian. We haven't called his name in a long while. He's going to pick up 4 yards on that carry.
Yeah, interesting here. I'm not sure why, but the clock didn't run. And so the play started at 3:32 and the play ended at 3:32.
They reset the clock to 3:38 on that delay game. So they reset it. That's, I think, maybe the conversation that they were having. I was kind of watching that clock. So I think they reset it to 3:38 due to the delay of game. And then this time right here just kind of puts us right at 3 minutes and 32 seconds.
Well, right there, Johnson did a nice job of identifying number 11. So Trevor Kim just wreaking havoc all night long. So they ran away from Trevor Kim here, got real positive yards, and with this offense, you run the ball here again, you might get that 1st down, but at least you're going to be out of your end zone, and you're going to force Urbandale to use one more timeout. They've got one left.
So it's 3rd and 4. The ball's on the 7-yard line. Johnson right now has kind of been maybe playing a little Houdini with kind of getting out of some tight adventures here. They had the 4th down where there was a pass interference, a big stop by the defensive line. If they could pull this rabbit out of their hat, it'll be 3rd and 4 and a 1st down, and they'll be sitting in good position right now. So Bacon's under center. He's going to hand the ball off to Grant Gosling. He's got a lot of room, and it is going to be a 1st down. No flags on the play. He escapes past to the 22-yard line.
This is what you look for out of Johnston. Don't panic. You don't have to throw the ball. Okay, so running the ball, keep running the ball, and now clock runs here. Urbandale's got 1 timeout. They're going to have to be selective with the timeout. Johnston should be able to get this under 2 minutes here in the ball game.
So we're under 10 seconds on the play clock. It's going to be a turn to T-Boy White. T-Boy White's going to cut back into the middle. He's going to get about 6 yards on that carry. And the clock continues to run. We're under 3 minutes. It's going to be 2nd down. And it looks like about 4 yards, 6 yards.
Yeah, so Johnson's made that adjustment. You got the defensive line stunts, you got the linebacker stunts coming up through the middle. Johnson's making little adjustments. The running backs are pressing the hole and then bouncing to the outside and getting real positive yards here. So keeping that clock moving is what Coach Woodley wants to do. Keep the ball on the ground. Keep people in bounds.
So Johnson's coming up in a power set. It's going to be a handoff to Gus Ghanaian. And he's going to be one of these big backs that's going to fall forward for 2 yards.
Yeah, so now Johnston's in a 3rd down and 2 situation. Clock's moving, and they have plenty of play calls right here. You can give the ball up the middle. You can have the quarterback running to the outside, reading the defensive end, but just don't pitch the ball. Telling the quarterback, don't pitch the ball if you run the view.
You got to take care of the ball. If you're Johnston here, a turnover here would be really crucial. Again, it's going to be Grant Gosling with a huge run. He finds a ton of room on the outside. He's going to take that ball inside the 20-yard line, and this.
If Johnston plays it right, this really should be the nail in the coffin right here. 1 timeout for Urbandale. Johnston plays this, plays it right. This should be it. They're not going to take a knee, but they should be able to milk enough clock and be able to kick the field goal to go up by 10.
Completely agree with you, Terry. A big run there, 2 big runs by Gosling. That one particularly, as you mentioned, might be the nail in this proverbial coffin for Urbandale tonight. We have a wishbone here with Ghanaian, Gosling, and T-Boy White. He's going to hand off to T-Boy. He's going to get to the outside, find some room. Goes out of bounds, but still going to be a 1st down.
If you are going to go out of bounds, get that 1st down, get 4 more plays, and now at this point, Coach Cruzy, just keep the ball in the middle of the field, running the ball, get a touchdown, but if you don't get that touchdown, keep it in the middle of the field, kick the field goal, go home with a win, feeling real good. Offensive linemen have to be feeling really good for Johnston here.
Yeah, I mean, a tough half for Urbandale. They played a heck of a second half, made a great comeback, got down to the 3-yard line and ended up 3 yards short of really making this a really good game. T-Boy White's going to fall in, and that's going to be a touchdown for Johnston. And that's going to wrap pretty much this game up. Urbandale's got a lot of questions that they got to have. I mean, they made some great adjustments at halftime. Trevor Kim played a heck of a game at linebacker, really caused a lot of disruption. I guess you could almost put the entire defensive line for Urbandale played a much better second half. We had Turner Ellis, Chinyama had a great second half, Mowry had a great second half, and it comes down to it. They had a 4th down and 3, and they couldn't get in the end zone. Jansen puts that kick in. That makes that score 20. I'm at 24-10. And Johnson's going to come away with this rivalry win.
Yeah, so I think the other thing, too, for Johnston, Urbandale was doing a nice job. They made their adjustments. 3rd quarter, Johnston made their adjustments. They seemed to be panicking a little bit, not knowing who they were. But coming into the 4th quarter, really midway through the 4th quarter, the running backs were starting to press the hole to the middle and then bounce into the outside because the pressure was all the middle. So they came to the middle, but then they read to the outside. And by doing that, you started to see these big runs. And Johnston took control then at the latter half of this game.
So, Urbandale, if they could take this kick back, Burnside had a heck of a return early in the game. At this point in time, you're Johnston. You just want Brady Jansen to put this ball in the end zone, so you don't even have to worry about a return here.
I'm not even sure if
Burnside's out there. Actually, it looks like it's
Nayu is back there.
Is out there.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if you kick this thing toward the end zone. I mean, you might want to put it on the ground, have one of these guys that are not as dangerous. If they get it up to the 30-yard line, they get up to the 30-yard line. But we'll see what Coach Woodley decides here.
So, looks like Jansen's going to bounce that. It's going to one hot. Nayu. Oh, big hit on the edge right there. Looked like that is number 21, Carter Wunsch, with a rude awakening.
for Nayu there. Maybe the biggest hit of the night, Terry.
That might be one of the biggest hits all year long in high school football. I tell you, Carter Wunsch, he met the ball carrier angry there. That was an angry hit out of Carter Wunsch. Just a decleater.
Nayu saw him, kind of sized him up, but Carter Wunsch put that on Nayu, and Nayu didn't win that one.
No, and to Nayu's credit, he's still here in the game, so
He's been battling injury as well. He limped off earlier, and he's still battling. We got a little miscommunication there.
Yeah, and this isn't Urbandale's game. You're throwing the ball down the field. It's not Urbandale's game. Johnston's got some veteran defensive backs. They're just going to be able to cover this. Just playing cover 4 in the back. Don't let anybody beat you is what the defensive coaches are saying.
So at this point in time, there's a minute 6 left. The ball's on the 26-yard line. Rice is going to drop back. Throws to number 81, Kennedy. He's going to be brought down.
Alex Shazik, I believe, just came in the game. Nope, Anthony Coleman, the freshman. Anthony Coleman came in the game, made that play there.
So keeps him inbounds. The clock is continuing to run. Urbandale has a timeout. Probably won't choose to use this. Urbandale's going to lose another game. Fall to 1-2. A tough 2 loss. Johnston's going to move to 3-0. Ball thrown to Kennedy again against the freshman Coleman with a nice stop there.
Yeah, that'll be a nice matchup to watch the next couple of years with Coleman and Kennedy going up against each other here, being young guys. But, you know, this Urbandale squad, 1 win, 2 losses. They're going to be a playoff team. And if you know history at all with Urbandale, you know Sam's going to have everybody ready to go when it comes playoff time. They're going to be ready to make a deep run into the playoffs. They got the offensive linemen to do it. It's just going to take them a little bit of time to kind of find their identity. It looked at times like they didn't quite know where they should be all the time, and they just didn't play very clean.
Yeah, you just hope a player like Newberg doesn't get hurt. I mean, he came off. Oh, big play there by Lang. Lang beats Proctor. You know, Rice did a great job of avoiding several Johnston defenders. Threw the ball up. That might be a spot where they call that last timeout.
Yeah, I think they're just going to the chains have to get set. The chains aren't set yet, so they're just going to clock this. Save that timeout here. There they go. They just clocked it.
So kind of lost track of thought of where we were, Terry. We're just kind of talking about Urbandale getting some things kind of cleaned up. Newberg limped off the field. We saw him jogging over there earlier. He's a big piece of what Urbandale is going to need in order to be successful. A very talented player on the offensive end. Their leading rusher. So with that, we just hope Newberg is all right. He can be back next week for Urbandale. We got an outside run here. Looks like that's number 14, Gardner. They wrap him up. It's going to be first down. They're going to use that timeout. And there's 10 seconds left. So Coach Anderson and Urbandale kind of hoping for a miracle here. We got 10 seconds left. Need 2 touchdowns. It's not looking good, but you know he's coaching his players up. He's going to do what he needs to do. If this is, you got to treat this game almost for you're down 4 points and a touchdown to win the game.
Yeah, this is a teachable moment right here for his guys. They're going to be pretty disappointed, but they're also going to try to get a touchdown. I think that's why we're calling the timeout here. He wants to let these guys know that, hey, we can punch it in. We don't have a lot of time on the clock. He wants to get that belief, them, feeling good going into next week. And if you're the Dragons right now, you just got to feel extremely good about your defense, because coming into this game for the defense to keep Urbandale to 10 points and to play the way they did, where they pretty much shut down Urbandale's passing game. There were a couple of pass interference calls that went were positive for Urbandale, but other than that, there really wasn't a passing game for Urbandale. So the Johnston defense, strength right there. And then you got the Johnston offensive line, who's really starting to put it together here.
Rice underneath center again. False start there for Urbandale, which is going to push them back 5 yards.
And I'm not sure if in high school football, if you have a penalty under a certain time, if they run time off the clock.
The clock was already stopped, so because Urbandale called that timeout, so I don't think that there's a penalty on that, being that there was already a stoppage of time. I didn't see even a penalty on that. Touchdown there. Nayu with the touchdown. Why is the clock? They're going to have to reset that clock there. There's still 3 seconds left on the clock. Nayu with the touchdown. Nice play, nice throw by Rice. So that's going to put some clock back, some time back on. They're going to go with 4 seconds on there. So right now, Urbandale's going to kick the extra point, and try to get the onside, and see what can happen here. So the game's not quite over yet. Urbandale's made it interesting. Big pass to Lang, pass to Nayu, touchdown.
Yeah, there's probably 2 plays left in the game here, so we'll kind of see what happens as this plays out.
St. John is the kicker for Urbandale. It is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So it makes this score 24-7. Still have 4 seconds left on the clock. So the hands team for Johnston will be out. Urbandale will be doing their onside kick. And Johnston, Urbandale, you just never know, Terry. Just never know what might happen here. Even though there's 4 seconds left. You just hate to say it, but yeah, Urbandale's done a great job battling back. They've never quit. They moved the football. Coach Anderson did a hit, and the offense did a good job moving the football and with time management. So now it's just, can Johnston catch his ball? And I mean, Urbandale needs a miracle, really.
Yeah, and this is less than ideal for Johnston because at this point now you're putting your best players out here for an onside kick, which is arguably the most dangerous play in high school, in football at any level. And so Coach Woodley would rather not have to put these guys out here, but this is really important because, as you said, Urbandale gets the ball. There is still that possibility of having that one play getting in the end zone and tying up this game, or possibly going for 2 and winning.
So St. John will be the kicker. Johnston's got their hands team. T-Boy White is the lone person back. He's at the 20-yard line. 4 seconds left. Johnston's up 24-17. So the Urbandale will be doing their onside kick here. St. John will be kicking it to the left side. Looks like there is a timeout by Johnston here.
I think Coach Woodley wants to get his, he might want to flop some of his players. He's got some of his best hands guys over here on his sideline. It looks like Urbandale is going to be kicking the ball over to their sideline. So I don't know if he's wanting to flip-flop some guys here.
That's got to be what Coach Woodley is. He's got to be looking at, hey, we're going to move some of our guys around. Or maybe looking at what Urbandale's going to do, but it doesn't seem like there's a ton of guys that got shifted around.
No, it doesn't. So I don't know if maybe he just wanted to see how they were going to do this onside kick and just reinforce to the guys that if it comes at you, you get it, you get down and protect the person that catches it. If it's going out of bounds, push the ball out of bounds.
So St. John with the onside kick, the ball's up, and it looks like it is taken there by Newcomb for Johnston. 2 seconds left, and Johnston's going to go out, take a knee here, and that should be the end of the game. So,
yeah, well executed out of Johnston. Newcomb really focusing on that football because he had some guys barreling down, and he took a big hit on that play, but he got up. Everybody looks like they're healthy. Johnston's going to come out of the game healthy, which will be good going into next week.
So Johnston will come out for one last play, victory snap, barring a fumble and touchdown recovery by Urbandale. This game is going to be over. Classic Johnston versus Urbandale game. Urbandale came back, played a really good second half, fall just short of winning this football game. But no doubt that Urbandale is a talented team. They just fell short a little bit tonight, about 1 yard short. If we go back to that 4th down and 3 play of really making this a really interesting football game.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game all night long. It was a game of it ebbed and flowed there. You had some momentum on the Urbandale side, momentum on the Johnston side, and in the end, Johnston just had the momentum at the end of the game and was really able to lock in this win.
So these two teams may meet again. Two talented teams. Johnston comes away with a victory that puts them at 3-0. Urbandale's going to get on the bus, go home at 1-2, but no doubt a very good football team.
So next week, opponents for Johnston, looks like who do the Dragons have next week on their schedule?
You know, I've been so focused on this week, I didn't even look to see. I know they're home next week.
They play Waukee.
Next week, Waukee was down against Dowling. I didn't see a score late, so Waukee is down a little bit from where they were last year. No doubt that they still have some very talented athletes over in Waukee. Johnston's got to be really happy with where they're sitting right now. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year if we'd be 3-0, I probably wouldn't have said we're 3-0. I think 2-1 would have been something that would have been a little more predictable, but Johnston coaching staff, the players, really rallied and worked really hard this offseason, and that's kind of where they're sitting 3-0.
Yeah, with this team, one thing that's kind of occurred with them is they've won that close. They won that close game at Southeast Polk. Then they win another close game at last week, last second field goal at Ankeny. And so that's kind of where you start to take these teams that maybe had some question marks. They start getting that confidence. They get this win tonight, and they, could become one of those special teams. Maybe make a little bit of run here because this is different than the past. This is a running team. They'll run the ball. They're going to smack you in the face. They're going to be physical, and that's what you need to do to make a run into the playoffs. You got to be physical.
So we're going to sign off for here again. Rivalry week here at Johnston. Johnston manages to kind of pull ahead and wins a close one tonight, 24-7 versus Urbandale. We'll see you guys next week, and have a good night, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.